pre-existing medical condition है.
Don't worry. Your plans है ना? Visitor Insurance Plans. Quote, compare and buy online at visitorplans.com. Plan available with acute onset of pre-existing conditions. Help in claim process.
For more information, log on to visitorplans.com or call 855-5-VISITOR.
Solve your life's problems and unlock a brighter future with and success in career, finance, health, relationships, and more. Call 408-639-5300 or visit saketbhatia.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Saket Bhatia, and I invite you to tune into my show every Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., where we deep dive into the world of astrology, numerology, and life coaching with a fresh perspective and a real discussion about what are real solutions and what are myths. Don't miss. That's every Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., only on Radio Zindagi, 1550 a.m. Jiye ja.
Jiye ja.
The views, opinions, and statements expressed in the following program reflect views of the program contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views of Fremont Broadcasting LLC, its management, or its sponsors.
हेलो एंड वेलकम। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका। वही जो है आज आप और हम मिल रहे हैं ट्यूसडे को। आज जो है पहली तारीख है नए वाले महीने की। हमारे साथ जुड़ते हैं ट्यूसडे को 4 to 5 PM डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया, इंटरनेशनली रिनाउंड एस्ट्रोलॉजर। डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया हैज़ अ PhD इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी एंड इज सर्टिफाइड न्यूमरोलॉजिस्ट। उनके पास 25 ईयर्स का एक्सपीरियंस है, मोर देन 1200 satisfied client globally, and he's also the board member of International Association of Vedic Astrology and Numerology. This show is for all the listeners who are seeking growth, happiness and prosperity in their lives. अगर आप डायरेक्टली डॉक्टर साकेत से कनेक्ट करना चाहते हैं, नंबर है 408-639-5300 या आप विजिट कर सकते हैं saketbhatia.com। थोड़ी देर में हम अपनी स्टूडियो की लाइंस भी जो हैं वो आपके लिए ओपन करेंगे। आप वहाँ भी एक सवाल कॉल कर सकते हैं और पूछ सकते हैं अपने मनचाहा सवाल। गुड इवनिंग डॉक्टर भाटिया, हाउ आर यू डूइंग टुडे?
Well, I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. And for all the listeners, warm welcome. Happy Tuesday. I must thank RJ Kunjan. Vedika aaj hai nahi. So, Kunjan, thank you for hosting this for us in a very short notice. I appreciate it.
Yes, it's my pleasure. मेरा थोड़ा सा स्वार्थ इसमें पीछे छुपा हुआ है कि शायद मेरे भी सितारे जो हैं वो लाइन हो जाएंगे क्योंकि मैं आपसे बात कर रही हूँ।
Everybody wants the same thing. We all want growth, happiness, success, and personal freedom in life.
Absolutely.
And quite frankly, we get a little bit of everything. But जब हमें मिलता है, we start asking for more. And that is what causes a little bit of insecurity, disappointment. So we'll keep this a very informative show for our listeners.
Yes,
we will
absolutely.
start taking calls usually in 10-15 minutes. Till then, at least हम थोड़ी सी topic के बात कर सकते हैं. What is the topic of the day? What are your questions? So most of the times, this is an unscripted show, which means I don't have notes which I read out from. It is a lot easier to just speak from your mind, from your heart. The listeners को पता चले कि हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं, and you know that's how it's always been.
Yes, and that's how we know that it's authentic, right? क्योंकि हमारे पास स्क्रिप्ट नहीं है टू गो बाय। तो हमारे लिसनर्स को मैं बता देती हूँ कि आज जो है हम बात करेंगे योगाज इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी। This is very intriguing. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yogas in astrology?
तो हर एक आदमी या औरत कहती है कि हमारी कुंडली में सो एंड सो योग है, अच्छा योग है, बुरा योग है। अच्छे योग आपको दे डू समथिंग पॉजिटिव। बुरा योग you've heard people say इसकी पूजा कर सकते हैं, शांति कर सकते हैं। तो योग होता क्या है? What does योग mean? That is what I want to talk about briefly, right? I'm going to talk a little and make people you understand कि why योग is important. आज का शो योग पे ही है। So योग is a special planetary condition. जो बर्थ चार्ट में बनता है, जिसे हम कुंडली भी कहते हैं। योग इज फ्रॉम अ संस्कृत वर्ड, इंग्लिश में उसकी ट्रांसलेशन होता है यूनियन और कॉम्बिनेशन। सो हाउ इज योग फॉर्म्ड? योग इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन व्हेन अ प्लैनेट which owns a specific house in your birth chart either sits in a different house or makes relationships with certain other planets. That is what we call a yoga. Agar fourth lord fifth mein baith gaya, that is considered to be a yoga. If a planet is sitting in its own sign in the fifth house, fourth house, it is called a yoga. If a planet exchanges houses with another planet, that is called a yoga. अगर बुरा planet बुरे घर में बैठ जाता है, that is called a yoga. So योग is just a placement of a planet in your कुंडली. हर एक कुंडली में कोई ना कोई योग होता है. Yogs are incredibly important. Remember, very, very important because they indicate the energy of the planet and how they interact with your life. Think of them as a unique code. They say software engineers write a code, right? And those codes sometimes take shape. They do something. Same way जो योग है, आपकी लाइफ में कहीं ना कहीं they will show up. Whether it is your personality, your strengths, your weakness, opportunities, challenges, these are all caused by yogs. दो तरह के योग होते हैं, positive yogs and negative yogs. Remember, positive yogs will bring fame, health, wealth, success, wisdom, happiness. जो बुरे योग है, they will not take that away. They don't bring dirt of anything, but they give you struggles in life. God has made your kundali in such a way कि positive yogs will help you, negative yogs will just create delays and challenges. Doesn't mean you cannot overcome them. Okay. As an astrologer, we look at these yogs very carefully because they are part of your destiny. If you come to me and I look at your kundali with a very positive yog, for example, Gaj Kesri Yog, we know you're never going to be short on health, short on wealth, short on self-esteem. Dignity रहेगी आपकी लाइफ में. Now, योग की magnitude भी होती है, right? Like I always tell in the shows, you could win a lottery ticket. $5 की हो, 5 million की हो कि 500 की हो, that is what the yoga will do. The strength of the yoga. Yoga is very, very important because it explains not only what happens in life, but why things are happening in your life. In astrology, nothing is coincidence. Nothing is just happening because it was a freak case. Everything happens because yoga dictates it. Interesting.
It's very interesting. So, like you said कि planetary positions होती हैं and you said दो तरह के योग होते हैं, अच्छे और not so अच्छे. तो like are these only two kind of yogs या और भी कोई होते हैं जिनके बारे में हमें पता रहना चाहिए?
So in general, there are 9 planets.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sun, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter. Correct? And Mars. 12 घर हैं. How many yogs do you think are there, Kunjan? You throw a number. Generally, astrology में कितने योग होते हैं? 10, 20. How many?
Maybe 12 घर हैं तो 12 अच्छे 12 बुरे 24.
So there are over 1,000 yogs in astrology. Actually, 2,000 से ज़्यादा योग है astrology में. Most astrologers don't know all the yogs and we are not expected to know them.
Mm-hmm.
Some yogs are very good and some yogs are just minor, right? So they help you incremental. So incremental yogs हम generally focus नहीं करते. So to answer your question, there are thousands of yogs. A good astrologer should know at least what we say the top 300 yogs he should know. हम जब ये योग देखते हैं कुंडली में, we say wow, they are there. They are going to either be good or bad. The two categories of yogs are auspicious yogs and bad yogs or challenging yogs. Auspicious yog पहले भी कहा है. They'll give you intelligence, wealth, health, fame. उनके examples है राज योग, धन योग. You must have heard of गज केसरी योग. These are good yogs. बुरे योग्स में होते हैं दरिद्र योग, केमद्रम योग. Kemdram Yoga means your life will always be up and down with challenges. Then there is Daridra Yoga, which will take away everything you have in life because you did not appreciate what you had. Then there are also yogas in which आपके ना आगे ना पीछे कोई रहेगा. You will be secluded from the world. You will be alone. Now, important thing in yoga is not कौन सा योग है, but how a yoga is calculated.
Mm-hmm.
जो योग होता है ना, you must see कि is it a conjunction yog, is it a exchange yog, is it just aspecting yog. योग is also based on house. अगर अच्छा योग अच्छे घरों में इन्वॉल्व है, it becomes strong. अगर अच्छा योग बुरे घरों के साथ इन्वॉल्व है, it becomes weak. अगर अच्छा योग की प्लैनेट बुरे घर में बैठा है, it also becomes weak. So many yogs like Panch Mahapurush Yoga, which I want to talk about later in the show. Panch means 5, Mahapurush means making you great, and yoga is obviously combination. So there is no set number for the amount of yogs. Actually, आपको एक interesting चीज कहते हैं, the original astrology books did not mention anything about yogs. But over thousands and thousands of years, as astrologers kept meeting people, we looked and said, why is this person rich? Why is he so healthy? Why does his body recover? Why does this individual have a happy married life? किसी किसी के बच्चे होते ही जाते हैं, किसी के नहीं होते. Why? It's a yoga. So these are documentations which have been written for thousands of years, and that's what it made a yoga. Correct? But categories of yogas are two.
Okay.
I'd say positive and not good. But योग भी दो तरह के होते हैं, दशा डिपेंडेंट योग एंड दशा इंडिपेंडेंट योग. यू नो व्हाट दशा इज. कभी कहते हैं हमारी
दशा
मून
बुरी
दशा
चल
चल
रही
रही
है,
है.
राइट.
सो कोई कोई दशा योग ऐसे होते हैं जो फुल लाइफ दे विल बी एक्टिव. गज केसरी योग, पंच महापुरुष योग, दे विल बी एक्टिव फॉर लाइफ. ओके, डजंट मैटर कौन सी दशा है, वो है. जब बुरी दशा होती है उनकी देयर एम्पलीट्यूड विल गो डाउन, अच्छी दशा में दिल को अप. देन देयर आर सम योग्स व्हिच विल ओनली स्टार्ट जब दशा खराब हो या दशा अच्छी हो. Rest of the times they are inactive, right?
There is a lot to learn, and ऐसा लग रहा है जितने सवाल पूछ रहे हो उतने डीप जा रहे हैं, that how much we, like people like me, we don't know about it. So let me ask you, can a yoga be a destiny maker?
So the answer is it is only the yoga that is a destiny maker, not your kundali. You can try to shape your kundali, you can try to fight your kundali, but life में जो आदमी destiny या औरत destiny लेके आते हैं, that is always by a yoga. Because the yoga is, planets are like a set on a stage, right? You have lots of actors on a stage. Now, depending on how these actors are performing, you will see the results accordingly. Some planets will act normally and the results will be okay. But some planets will get support of others and they will shine in their time and they will automatically give you destinies. When we see the charts of very wealthy people, political personalities, famous artists, even spiritual gurus जो होते हैं, जब उनकी चार्ट पढ़ते हैं, you don't see average charts in these people. No, you see a very strong yoga. You see something which makes them rise above other people. Okay, ये एक blessing होती है. For instance, if somebody has Raj Yoga, it not necessarily point to fame or leadership. But अगर Raj Yoga के साथ धन योग हो, then it will bring financial fortune. अगर राज योग के साथ सरस्वती योग हो, it will automatically start bringing intelligence. राज योग के साथ सरस्वती योग हो, लक्ष्मी योग हो, धन योग हो, you will use your intelligence to make money, creativity for other people. So yogs are a destiny maker. But remember, yogs don't operate in isolation. इसका मतलब है ऐसा नहीं होता कि a yog by itself will make you. There is something which is also called the whole chart. The whole chart has to be studied because the chart will tell us the true impact of the kundali. So let's say आपका गज केसरी योग है. Assume. Now let's further assume that you're a, let's say, Scorpio ascendant, जिसका second lord and fifth lord happens to be Jupiter. अब आपका गज केसरी योग बन रहा है with the union of Jupiter and Moon, which is very close to 15 degrees, sitting in the 5th house. So we know immediately कि it's a very powerful yoga because Moon is lord of 9th. Lord of 9th, Lord of 2nd, Lord of 5th की unity बैठ गई. Okay. Great, it's going to be there for life. On the other hand, अगर यही कुंडली में Jupiter और Moon गलत घर में बैठ गए, 12th house, 8th house, 6th house, the yoga will automatically become very weak, no matter how strong that planet is. On the other hand, if Jupiter and Moon are sitting, let's say Jupiter sits at 2 degrees and Moon is sitting at 28, then Lagan Chalit mein they could be in different houses, not giving you the right results. So think of yoga as a powerful force जो आपकी destiny shape कर सकता है. It will give you two things, possibilities and potential. It is your astrologer's job to look at this and tell you कि ये possibility है, और अगर है तो how far you will be able to go in life with that योग, और अगर है लेकिन potential कम है उसका, then you may not go very far. Right?
Interesting. So, do you need water or anything?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing the show. I know that you're not 100%, but we really appreciate it. So thank you for that. So let me ask you this कि सारे बर्थ कुंडली जो होती हैं, जो हॉरोस्कोप बनाते हैं जब किसी का जन्म होता है, बर्थ चार्ट्स जो होते हैं, उन सब में योग होता है कि नहीं होता?
So I would not say nearly all. I will say all kundalis have a योग. हर एक कुंडली में योग होता है. Astrology में योग is very easy to be formed. दो प्लैनेट साथ में घुस गए, योग बन गया. दो प्लैनेट ऑपोजिट घर में बैठे हैं, योग बन गया. दो प्लैनेट एक एक आजू बाजू घर में बैठे हैं, योग बन गया. It is impossible to have a kundali with no yogs. It is really impossible. You cannot have one. Yog, again, some will be very powerful and some are very rare. Some will promise dramatic results and some will just give you incremental results in life. आपने लाइफ में जितने लाइक हम यहाँ बैठे हैं, आईटी वाले हैं, और पीपल हु have done well in life, they'll have some yog, right? I mean, thousands of yog में से you cannot tell me कि a kundali cannot have a yog.
Right.
There's always a yog, but again, don't confuse yog with success. Yog, even if you have a good yog, its magnitude matters and you matter. You will have to put that effort in life to make sure that yog is giving you the results. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck with a very weak condition and you're sleeping on something which you're not doing. So, to answer your question, all kundalis have a yog. The nature, the number will affect from every person to person. I have seen some kundalis with just incredible amount of yogs in which every planet is making a yog. ऐसी भी कुंडली देखी है. हर planet योग बना रहे हैं and it's mind boggling how that person's kundali was formed.
That's interesting and lucky stars align क्योंकि you actually did answer my question. मैं पूछने वाली थी कि अगर योग ही सारे काम कर देंगे तो फिर मैं मेहनत क्यों करूँगी? Like what am I doing? So before you answer that question, Saket ji, let me tell our listeners that we are talking to Saket Bhatia ji जो कि every Tuesday शाम को 4 से 5 हमारे साथ जुड़ते हैं. अगर आपके मन में कोई सवाल है एस्ट्रोलॉजी या न्यूमरोलॉजी से रिलेटेड, आप अभी हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं स्टूडियो पे. 510-770-1550 is the studio line number. 510-770-1550 and please remember that one question per call हम लेंगे. So Saket ji, with that, over to you.
So I was talking about, that everybody has yogs and the yog can be different for different people. Two people having the same yog in the same house will still have different results because those planets could represent different things. देखिए कुंडली में every planet represents something. Venus is love, Jupiter is expansion, wisdom, Mercury is the way you speak. But depending on वो किस घर का मालिक है, कहाँ बैठा है, everything changes. The same Jupiter which makes a yoke for expansion, wisdom, can also be the planet that causes liver problems for you. Saturn, the planet जो आपको हार्ड वर्क का योग देता है, डेडिकेशन, डिसिप्लिन का देता है, he can give you cancer, he can give you depression. So a positive yog can also go a little negative for you.
Interesting. So and also complicated. So let me ask you this. आपने बोला कि 1000 like quantity is thousands जिसमें कि योग होते हैं. So what are like two main types of yog जो कि as a common person it would make more sense to us?
The two main types of yogs again are auspicious and inauspicious. Auspicious means beneficial, good for you. Inauspicious means challenging. Challenges देते हैं. You know sometimes how in life आपको कुछ करना है लेकिन अटक अटक के चलता है.
हम्म
You may have said मुझे 5 साल पहले ये करना था, आज तक नहीं किया. I really wanted to do this. देखो आज this company is doing the same thing that I had thought of 5 years ago. Why didn't you capitalize on it? Why did you not do anything about it? Well, it is your yoga. Positive योग बहुत अच्छे होते हैं. They will make your life easy. You know, Kunjan, sometimes things just fall into place for some people.
राइट
Right? वो बैठे बैठे कोई ना कोई आ जाएगा. Hey, I don't have a job, but guess what? Here's a new job for you. Okay, you take it. Next thing you know, you start growing. Sometimes you've heard of people like the founder of Alibaba. I've got rejected from so many companies. I was sitting there wondering, मैं क्या करूँगा life में? And I came up with the idea of Alibaba. Jeff Bezos who started Amazon, was working on Wall Street, and he came up with an idea of selling books. So he built a website. So coming back to your question, it is the yoke that pulls you, the yoke that starts you, and the yoke that pushes you. On the other hand, जो बुरे योग होते हैं, they create obstacles, delays, hardship. And हमारा human nature ऐसा है कि the minute we encounter hardships, we tend to either stop or we tend to walk away from it. We don't step up and say, ये hardship है, हमें करना है. I don't know a single person who may have started a business that went very smoothly. Challenges तो होती हैं. That's why when people come to me and say, I have this yoke, should I start a business? I look at the Kundali and say, no, you can't. You will run away. You will face challenges, difficulty, mental stress, which you won't be able to handle. You will face enemies. You will face ill health. Okay? So again, ये है योग. But उसमें दो चीजें होती हैं, दशा डिपेंडेंट एंड दशा इंडिपेंडेंट योग. दशा डिपेंडेंट, I consider dasha dependent yogs to be very powerful. Because जब उनकी दशा आती है, you can use that to your advantage. I just had a case where somebody is undergoing heart surgery. And he said, will it be successful? अब कुंडली दिखाती है कि जो हेल्थ की दशा है वो अभी आ रही है. So it was as easy as delay your surgery by 4 weeks. Your better dasha is coming, it will be successful, recovery fast होगी. That's why we also call Murat, right? What is Murat? Murat is just the placement of the planets. And somehow it is indirectly related to yogs. जो कहते हैं कि this is a good time, ये दशा अच्छी है, do it. So that's why I say, dasha dependent yogs तो अच्छा है. We take them for granted. Yes, I am intelligent. Yes, I am successful. Yes, I have good health. जो दशा dependent होती है, उन पे emphasize करो. Make the most of that particular dasha, because they're only there for a short period of time and they will never come back once they go.
So thank you, Dr. Sakeji, for this information. Listeners, if you want to ask a question, you can call in studio. हमारा नंबर है 5107701550 5107701550 स्टूडियो लाइन का नंबर है. अगर आप अभी कॉल करके डॉक्टर साकेत से कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं एस्ट्रोलॉजी या न्यूरोलॉजी रिलेटेड, आज जो है वो हम बात कर रहे हैं योग्स इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी. सो जब आप बात कर रहे थे तो दिस एक्चुअली स्टक विथ मी, क्योंकि कभी कभी ऐसा होता था स्कूल में हम लोग फ्रेंड्स हैं या जब हम कॉलेज यहाँ पे पढ़ रहे थे यूएस में, एक ही लेक्चर होता है, एक ही नोट्स, लाइक मी एंड माय फ्रेंड्स वी आर सिटिंग टुगेदर, हम नोट्स दे रहे हैं, हम सब ने एक सी पढ़ाई की है, बट हमेशा एक दोस्त होता है जो कि कम एफर्ट डाल के ज़्यादा नंबर लाता है, वर्सेस मुझे तो बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती थी उतने नंबर लाने के लिए जितना वो ऐसे ही ले आती थी. सो इज दिस ऑल्सो रिलेटेड टू योग?
It could be related to yoga, could be related to just being at the. I think actually, yes, to be very frank with you, if somebody has something going easy in life, it is a yoga which is responsible. Because astrology, there is no such thing as luck. There's always a yoga which causes something like that. So, without knowing the full picture, we can't answer, but yes, it is somewhere close to that.
That's interesting. So that's how we are born, right? तो मतलब when I was born मेरे योग इतने अच्छे नहीं थे और योग जो है वो शिफ्ट होते रहते हैं.
Well, you came here, right? You were born in India. आप यहाँ आए. There are many people in India who are not fortunate to come here.
Right.
You have a healthy life. you have a decent job, people know you on radio, you're getting popular. So I would not say you have difficult yokes.
That's true.
That's what I told you. People tend to underappreciate the positive yokes and always bring out the negative yoke. एक
Yeah.
interesting चीज थी. What will you remember more? Finding $100 bill on the road or losing $20 on the road? People said losing the 20.
लूजिंग, राइट, क्योंकि घूम गया ना, घूमना नहीं चाहिए था हाथ से।
Be grateful for what you have. आपके योग
राइट,
अच्छे हैं. You're in a good position, a good situation. You're in the tech capital of the world. The only thing that is stopping you is you.
right. I am the biggest enemy of myself. That is absolutely true, and I'll remember that. So why don't you tell our listeners, the number is 510-770-1550 स्टूडियो लाइन का नंबर। अगर आप अभी कोई कॉल करके कोई सवाल हमसे पूछना चाहते हैं तो लेट्स डिस्कस समथिंग इम्पोर्टेंट जो कि आपने टच किया था कि व्हाट इज पॉजिटिव योग इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी।
So I'll try to list some very positive yokes for you. Okay. I'll try to list some positive yokes and then I'll try to list some negative yokes for you. I think that will make sense for all our listeners. This can take some time. And since you're doing this show for the first time, you will get lots of calls. Feel free to interrupt me if we get calls. Otherwise, once the topic starts, you will not be able to stop.
सॉरी दैट कॉल गॉट ड्रॉप्ड। सो अगर आप हमें फ़ोन कर रहे थे, यू नो समटाइम्स जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो इंटरेस्टिंग होता है, तो वी डोंट वांट टू इंटरप्ट, लेकिन आप दोबारा से हमें ट्राई कर सकते हैं 510-770-1550। ओके साकेत जी, ओवर टू यू।
So I'm going to talk about some important yokes. मैं दोनों पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव दोनों की बात करता हूँ. So you tell me, have you heard of these yokes? राजयोग.
यस।
इसका मतलब क्या होता है? Does it really make you a king? Because Rajयोग is so common. It is so common.
वेल
Rajयोग, yes.
इट डिपेंड्स राइट कि हम किस एरा में रह रहे हैं, बट जहाँ भी रह रहे हैं वहाँ वहाँ अगर आप सबसे ऊंचे हैं तो ऑफ कोर्स वो आपको राजा लाइक औदी दे देता है। सो आई वुड से दैट्स हाउ एटलीस्ट आई हैव एसोसिएटेड इट।
Rajयोग is one of the most common yogs in a kundli. Okay. Rajयोग can be formed very easily. Very, very easily. जब एक प्लैनेट दूसरे प्लैनेट के साथ एक्सचेंज करता है या बैठ जाता है या घर एक्सचेंज करता है, राजयोग बनता है. It brings leadership, status and respect. Rajयोग is more of a dasha dependent योग. जब दशा आती है तब ये किक इन होता है. So for all the listeners out there, Raj Yog means royal companion yog. It does not mean you will become a king. If somebody has told you आपके पास Raj Yog है, it's a good thing to have, but you should know when to use it, what to do with it, and how to grow. Raj Yog is not a dasha independent yog. तो आएगा और चले जाएगा, and if you don't make good of it, it is gone. इस जन्म में वो particular योग वापस नहीं आएगा. Okay. The second yoke is Dhan Yoke. It's called Wealth Yoke. This is typically caused when planets are joined or related to cause financial abundance. The financial success, abundance or prosperity देता है. In astrology, there is a very big difference between finance, prosperity and gains. Finance is typically what you earn from your work. Prosperity is maybe you have a house, maybe you have property, business, income from other sources, stocks. And finally, abundance is when all of those things increase in value. So Raj and Dhan Yoga are considered good. Dhan Yoga is not a Dasha dependent yoga. It is typically Dasha independent yoga. Third yoga is Gaj Kesari yoga. Gaj Kesari, jab moon or Jupiter, when Jupiter is at an angle from the moon, when Jupiter is not debilitated, when Jupiter is not sitting with Ketu or Rahu, when Jupiter is not weak, it is not combust, फिर एक योग बनता है called Gaj Kesari योग. Dasha independent योग, excellent योग. It is for intelligence, good reputation and stable fortune. The word is stable fortune. Okay? इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि आप पैसे बनाओगे नहीं या घटाओगे नहीं. स्टेबिलिटी रहती है, जितना घटाओ, जितना लॉस होगा उतना कवर हो जाएगा.
राइट।
जितना गेन अगर ज्यादा बनाओगे तो वो भी लॉस हो जाता है कभी कभी. Then my favorite yoga is the Panch Mahapurush yoga. This is only caused for 5 planets: Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. जब ये planets अपने खुद के घर में बैठते हैं, या when they sit in their own exalted sign, and further that sign happens to be house number 1, 4, 5, 7, 9 or 10, then it is called Panch Mahapurush Yoga. Brilliant yoga in a kundli. It is dasha independent. It is fantastic. Gives you much of everything. I will discuss more if we have time. By far one of the best yogas in astrology. फिर आते हैं एक और योग पे, अखंड साम्राज्य योग. What does that mean? Akhand means everything. Samrajya means kingdom, and yog means in general. But Akhand Samrajya Yog is a rare combination. I think 0.01% people have this yoga. Authority, dominance. You're able to rule on a large scale, able to start big companies. But this has a catch.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of your life, if you have Akhand Samrajya Yoga, the first half of your life will be very good. The second half could be very terrible. Or the first half of your life could be average, and the second half of your life will be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
जब रामायण पढ़ते हैं तो सीता had अखंड साम्राज्य योग. The first half of her life was living as a princess,
Mm-hmm.
and the second half she didn't even have a house on her head.
Right, as a
See,
prisoner. Mm-hmm.
and this is अखंड साम्राज्य योग. It always does that. It's a good योग, but still does that. It makes you appreciate what you have. फिर आता है अति
Absolutely.
योग. अति योग. अति योग जब अच्छे planets, अच्छे क्या होते हैं? Waxing moon, Venus, Mercury in combination with a good planet, Jupiter. When these planets are placed in the 6th, 7th, 8th houses from moon, मतलब छठे, आठवें या 7वें घर मून से बैठे हो, they bring a lot of happiness. They bring ability to overcome enemies, and they give positive reputation to you. So you could go back and say, I'm not sure, but yes, ये तो बहुत अच्छा योग है,
Mm-hmm.
अधि योग. फिर आएंगे हम महालक्ष्मी योग. Not Lakshmi, but Mahalakshmi Yoga. What does it mean? A lot of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
But not only wealth, it also brings spirituality. It brings spiritual rewards to you. Mahalakshmi Yoga cannot just be confused and said कि हमें पैसा ही मिलेगा, हमें spirituality मिलती है. Astrology में the most important house in your kundli is 9th house, which is spirituality, not the first house. It is spirituality. The whole purpose of life is to be spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
अब हम 7, we spoke about 7 good house yogs. अब बात करेंगे थोड़े difficult योग की. केमद्रम योग.
So,
अगर
Saket ji, before we go on the difficult yogs, is it okay if we take couple of calls?
Absolutely.
Okay. हेलो, you're on air. आप जो हैं साकेत जी से अपना सवाल पूछिए और अपना नाम बताएं.
Hello, Dr. Bhatia. Namaste. This is Nia.
Namaste. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for taking my call. My question is for my brother-in-law. His name is Atharva.
Okay.
He was born on 19th of October, 1991.
Okay.
In Pune.
And his time of birth?
7:40 p.m. Sorry.
Okay.
7:40 p.m. And I wanted to know when is he going to get married?
Well, I generally joke and tell people, when does he want to get married himself?
Yeah.
So 19th October 1991, 7:40 p.m. in Pune, Maharashtra.
Correct.
So he is an Aries ascendant. Don't confuse with Western astrology, but Vedic astrology में Aries, जैसे हम सिम लगन कहते हैं. सिम Aries का ruler होता है Mars, and Mars is actually sitting in the 7th house. ये भी concept astrology में, whichever house your ascendant lord sits, that house will give you good results in life. So we know, इनका Mars बैठ गया 7th house में तो शादी तो होनी है. Great. But आप कहते हो शादी हुई नहीं अब तक. For a man, marriage happens during दशा of 7th lord, which is Venus की दशा, या जब राहु उस घर पे ट्रांजिट करेगा, या जब उस planets which are Sun, Mercury, Mars, if they are sitting, अगर उनकी दशा हो. अब दशा चल रही है शनि की. Coincidentally, शनि is actually aspecting that house. मतलब शनि कहता है कि भाई मैं मैरिज तो दूंगा अपनी दशा में. शनि दशा started 2014, will end 2033. but you'll be like, ये तो बहुत बड़ी दशा है. Let's narrow it down. So, a good time for this boy to get married was actually now. उनकी शनि की जो वीनस दशा चल रही थी was good. अब चलेगी शनि और सन दशा. I would not recommend that dasha to get married, but it's a good dasha to meet people. A better dasha to get married would be Shani Moon. So, if you take my advice, I strongly believe that he should be married anytime after June of next year. Or I'm sorry, I take that back. After November 24th, 2025, के बाद, it's a wonderful time. Try getting him married before June of 2027. If you want to still narrow that down, November 24th till November 24th of this year till November 24th of next year, he should be married. राहु उस घर को देख रहा है, शनि उस घर को देख रहा है, दशा भी Saturn. There is no reason he should not be married. Okay? No reason.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much for calling. And Saket ji, one more call and then we'll go back to our not so good dasha. Hello, you're live on air. अपना सवाल पूछें डॉक्टर साकेत से.
Sure. Namaste, Dr. Bhatia. How are you?
No. Good. How are you enjoying the show?
Yeah, it's great. It's so insightful. So many good things to learn.
I'm always
Amazing.
asking listeners कि भाई बताइए what topics you want to hear, what would you like to learn about next, and give us some feedback so we can shape this to be a better show.
Sure.
So tell me, how can I help you?
As you were asking about some interesting topics, one topic which I would like to learn going forward is that if any planet is the owner of multiple houses, then how exactly dasha impacts? Like अगर first house का भी है और fifth house का भी है, कौन से house का ज़्यादा impact आएगा? Anyway, let me ask you my question. So maybe
Let's
something
answer
about
that question first. Let's answer that question first. Don't worry. देखिए, almost every planet with the exception of Sun and Moon, Rahu, Ketu are not considered planets, right? With the exception of Sun and Moon, every planet owns two houses. Okay. A planet will always give results based on the houses it owns, but it will give the results based on the house it sits in. You said, let's assume a planet is owning house 1 and 5. Assume 1 and 5 तो मुश्किल है, let's make it 2 and 5. Scorpio ascendant के लिए. अगर जुपिटर की दशा हो या जुपिटर की अंतर दशा हो, the first half of that dasha, first half will be related to second house. The second half will be related to fifth house. So divide the dasha into and go anti-clockwise. Number one. Number two, उस planet की मूल त्रिकोण sign क्या है? For example, Jupiter की मूल त्रिकोण is Sagittarius, right? Pisces is not. So he will give double the results of the second house and half the results that he's supposed to give for the fifth house. Go anti-clockwise. Go anti-clockwise. Double results for moon trikon, half results for other house, and during his dasha, split it into, that is the thing. But let's ask your other question now.
Yeah, so Mr. Bhatia, I invested heavily on stocks and I lost a lot of money this year. So I myself know a lot of astrology, so I was thinking कि मेरी अभी sun की और बुध की दशा चल रही है, both are in 11th house, so I'll make money. But in fact, I lost a lot of money. So I wanted to check if you can look into my chart that where exactly should I invest my money? Shall I invest on property, stocks, or something else?
Why don't you go ahead and give me your date of birth?
Sure, my details are 6th of August, 1986,
Okay.
9:26 a.m., 9:26, Patna, Bihar.
Give me 1 second. And it's good आपको astrology की knowledge है, so it becomes easy for me to explain things.
Yeah, thank you.
Patna, Bihar. Patna, Bihar, 9:26. Huh?
Yes.
Right? So, Vedic astrology में आपका जो ascendant है, that happens to be Mercury, right?
Correct.
And Mercury is sitting in which house? 11th house. House of gains.
Yes.
आपकी दशा कौन सी चल रही है, you said?
Sun and Mercury.
Sun Mercury Dasha started 17th of September 2024 and will end 25th of July 2025. इस कुंडली में सन is Lord of 12th house, which is the house of loss. Okay, number one. Look carefully at your kundli. आपके 11th house में sun and moon form what we call eclipse. Eclipse means darkness. Do you agree? To make things worse, moon is lord of 11th house. अपने ही घर में बैठा है. You will make money in stocks. You just won't make it right now. Why would you do it?
Okay.
Plus Rahu is sitting in the house of loss. Na? Rahu transit में छठे घर पे बैठा है. You should not invest in stocks yet. If I were you, I would pull out. Wait. Don't invest. Go back when Moon Dasha comes. Moon Dasha is coming 2026 November. From 2026 November to 2036, it is all about making money. So, to answer your question, you're running a lost Dasha. Sun is the primary Dasha. And when you said Sun Shani, Sun Shani to aur kharab ho gaya. Because Sun, don't say Sun and Saturn are 5 houses away. That doesn't help. Saturn also will give two results. The 5th house and 6th is loss, debt, difficulty. So my suggestion, stay away from the market till next year, but jump in November 2026, and I'm giving you 10 years to make money. Okay?
So shall I invest, Dr. Bhatia, or shall I just keep it in a savings account or something else?
Keep it in a savings. Your potential to lose is actually a lot more right now. Okay?
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you
Bye.
so much for calling. So, listeners, you are listening to the Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia, जो कि every Tuesday आता है 4 to 5 p.m. शो के दौरान आप हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं. शो के बाद अगर आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए तो थोड़ी देर में हम आपको बताएंगे कि वो आप कहाँ और कैसे जा सकते हैं. सो Dr. Saket Bhatia, we were discussing about some difficult yoga in astrology. So, let's continue with that.
We'll discuss 3 difficult yogs only. There is no need to discuss too many. एक होता है केंद्रम योग, जब मून अकेला बैठा है. अगर आपकी कुंडली में मून अकेला है, केंद्रम योग बनता है. It gives loneliness in life. You know, Kunjan, you must have met some people who are alone. You have nobody with them. Kendram Yoga. Kendram Yoga will cause loneliness, sad, depression, struggles, ups and downs in life. But अगर मून 1, 4, 5, 7, 9 या 10 घर में बैठा हो, या मून पे पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट्स हो, या मून एक्सॉल्टेड हो, या अपने घर में बैठा हो कैंसर में, तो केंद्रम योग गेट्स कैंसल्ड. केंद्रम also gets cancelled with Gaj Kesari Yoga. So the amount of cancellation factors for Kendram Yoga is very high. Next, Daridra Yoga. See, Daridra Yoga को लोग misunderstand करके कहते हैं poverty yoga. It isn't poverty. It is actually financial instability. It is financial struggle. Sometimes people lose a lot of money and then they tend to make it back. Daridra Yoga is that, but they are not Dasha dependent, they're Dasha independent. And the last yoga is Kal Sarp Yoga. Kal Sarp Yoga is a very controversial and a very much debated yoga. जब आपकी कुंडली में सारे planets एक साइड पे हो और राहु केतु, it is called Kal Sarp Yoga. Kal Sarp Yoga actually causes good yogs to become weak and causes bad yogs to become strong. But there are also 2 types of Kal Sarp Yogas. एक होता है राहु केतु के, है ना, तो राहु is a head, Ketu is a body. In astrology, we always go anti-clockwise. But when you analyze Rahu Ketu, you always go clockwise because ये उल्टे चलते हैं. They're always retrograde. अगर सारे planets Rahu से Ketu, if you go clockwise जा रहे हो, then your Kal Sarp Yoga is considered negative. On the other hand, if you go clockwise from Ketu to Rahu and all the planets are placed there, it actually negates the effect of Kal Sarp Yoga. So जिनकी काल सर्प योग है, आई हैव सो मेनी केसेस वेयर पीपल कम टू मी एवरी डे, हमारा काल सर्प योग है, हमने पूजा की ना, लुक एट द कुंडली एंड से इसमें तो काल सर्प योग है ही नहीं. व्हाई आर यू बिलीविंग? नो, किसी ने कह दिया. बहुत इजी है डराना. डराने से फायदा नहीं होता. इट इज बेस्ट टू एक्सप्लेन टू पीपल व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. सो व्हाट इफ यू हैव अ योग? एवरीबॉडी हैज अ योग. इफ यू हैव काल सर्प योग, वर्क ऑन इट. ट्राई फिक्सिंग योर काल सर्प योग. द फर्स्ट थिंग यू डू इज व्हेन यू गेट heart problem is you get more aware, you get more conscious, you start taking medicine, you bring your cholesterol down. Same way, बुरा योग है तो पता करो भाई बुरा योग परमानेंट है कि टेम्पररी है. अगर परमानेंट है तो मेक एडजस्टमेंट्स अकॉर्डिंगली. अगर टेम्पररी है देन नो कि जब खत्म होगा गुड टाइम इज कमिंग. Astrology's job is to make you aware, to prepare you, to make you become more, in tune with what is happening in your life. So I've just given you 10 very popular yugas that astrologers will look for. They will either bring you ease and success, or they will bring challenges. They play a very important role in your life's journey. Each individual should know. अगर आपको नहीं पता, go to my website saketbhatia.com. वहां पर योग मिलते हैं. फ्री कुंडली है, फ्री कैलकुलेटर है. It will tell you what yog you have. It will tell you what your kundali looks like.
So, listeners, you are listening to the Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia, जो कि every Tuesday 4 to 5 p.m. आता है. अगर आप डॉक्टर भाटिया से आउटसाइड ऑफ द शो बात करना चाहते हैं, 4086395300 इज़ द नंबर एंड देन saketbhatia.com इज़ द वेबसाइट, या फिर आप ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं info@saketbhatia.com. सो डॉक्टर भाटिया, वी हैव प्रिसाइसली 9 मिनट्स. हमने जब शो शुरू किया था तो आपने कहा था कि यू वांट टू टॉक अबाउट पंच महापुरुष योग. सो डू यू थिंक वी हैव इनफ टाइम, हम बात कर सकते हैं?
Absolutely, we have enough time to talk. We can talk about different yogs. But अगर पंच महापुरुष योग करना है, then yes, let's talk about that. Vedic astrology, what I practice, Panch is 5 exceptionally powerful yogs. Okay, if you have this in your kundali, it is very good for you. Each of these Panch Mahapurush yog jo hai, they will result in something else. Panch means 5, Maha means great, and Purush means person. Literally 5 great person yoga. They can only be formed by Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, or Saturn. If one of these planets is ruler of the 11th house, it will not form a yoga in your kundali. Okay? तो ऐसा मत कहना कि शनि हमारा 11वें लॉर्ड है, वो चौथे में बैठ गया, the 4th house is Capricorn. No, it cannot make a yoga. It's just not possible if it sits in that house. ये जो योग है, this is formed when one of these planets, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus or Saturn, अपने ही घर में हो या exaltation sign में हो, but that also has to be 1, 4, 7 or 10 house from the ascendant or from the moon. ये important है. The different types of Panch Mahapur yogs are रुचका योग जो मार्स का होता है, भद्र योग for Mercury, हमसा योग for Jupiter, मालवा योग for Venus and साशा योग for Saturn. Okay, I'm going to try explaining one of these. जब ये कुंडली में हम देखते हैं, they give extraordinary qualities to people. They will give you leadership, wisdom, beauty, success, discipline. हर एक चीज देती है ये based on what it is. So let's talk about रुचका योग, Mars. जब रुचका योग आपकी कुंडली में आती है, that means Mars is sitting in Aries or Scorpio, or he's sitting in Capricorn. And one of these houses is 1, 4, 7 or 10 from ascendant or moon. अगर आपका रुचका योग हो, you will have extraordinary courage, leadership qualities, physical strength. We see this in people who win Olympic Games. We see this in people who are leaders of militaries, Air Force, Army officers, who are big successful leaders, have this yoga. जितने adventurous लोग होते हैं, जो निडर होते हैं, who don't get scared, this is it. I'll give you examples of famous personalities. Bruce Lee has this particular yoga. Sachin Tendulkar also has this yoga. He's a good cricketer, right? He's a legend. Now let's switch gear to Bhadra Yoga. Bhadra Yoga is when Mercury will be in Gemini or it will be in Virgo. Unfortunately, Mercury का third house है नहीं, क्योंकि he's exalted in Virgo, right? Now अगर ये भी केंद्र में हो, then it gives Bhadra Yoga. Intelligence, eloquence, good speech, gift for communication. It gives you a very good mind. People that have this excel in business, education, technology, diplomacy. Who has it? Amitabh Bachchan has it. Mark Zuckerberg has it. But Amitabh Bachchan and Mark Zuckerberg have it at a very extreme level, where the Mercury is very strong. Next हम कहेंगे हमसा योग, Jupiter, the best planet in any kundali. Luck, grace, wisdom, fortune. अगर Jupiter अपने ही घर में हो, which is Sagittarius या Pisces, and he's exalted in Cancer, right? और अगर ये केंद्र में हो या angle पे हो from the ascendant or moon, it will bring wisdom, spirituality, purity of mind, generosity, popularity. You will be very well known in the world. Who are people who have this? Abdul Kalam, the former president of India, Dalai Lama. They have this. Now, they're very different from Mark Zuckerberg and Amitabh Bachchan, right? You cannot compare Abdul Kalam with them. You cannot compare Abdul Kalam ji with Bruce Lee. Every chart is unique. Next will be, which we're going to talk, is Malva Yoga, Venus. This is what you will like because you are in the RJ field, you are in the good look beauty field, right? So Malva Yoga jo Venus hai, it is formed by Venus, which is the planet of love, affection, beauty. जब Venus Taurus में बैठा हो, Pisces में हो या Libra में हो, it causes this Malva Yoga. It gives you extreme beauty, charm, love for arts. It gives you wealth, luxuries. People excel in acting, music. They become part of luxury businesses. Aishwarya Rai has this in her kundli. Marilyn Monroe has it. Most gorgeous people in the world have this yoga. Okay, they have it to an extreme level. And एक और योग हम बात करेंगे साशा योग, which is Saturn. Saturn जब Capricorn में हो या Saturn जब Libra में हो या Aquarius में होता है, and when this is again 1, 4, 7, 5, 10, 9 from ascendant or moon, it will give you this yoga. This will give you hard work, discipline, authority, strategic thinking देता है. ये शनि है, by the way, which gives you all the stuff. They come to high positions in government. They come to high positions in leadership authority. Nelson Mandela had this. He stayed in jail for so many years, but he never gave up. Angela Merkel, the former chancellor of the European Union, she had a very powerful Saturn. Margaret Thatcher, who was the PM of Britain, she had this in her kundli. So Panch Mahapurush Yoga jo hai, it's a very auspicious yoga. Individuals will stand out in society due to exceptional attributes that the planet gives them. These are just some examples I've given you, but the list is endless. If you have Panch Mahapurush Yoga and you're living an average life, you are making a mistake. But let's say, Kunjan, I give you 2 cars, whichever model of car, it doesn't matter. And I tell you to ram into a wall. It doesn't matter which car you have. दीवार तो तोड़ नहीं सकता, right?
Right.
Same way, जब ये योग बनते हैं, there is something called stalling of yoga. There is a bad planet, which is Lord of 11th. If that Lord of 11th is looking at one of these yogas, he has the capacity to ruin this yoga completely. You may have Hamsa Yoga, you may have Panch Mahapurush Yoga, you may have Gaj Kesari Yoga, but अगर 11th Lord उसके साथ बैठा हो या उसे देख रहा हो, वो खत्म कर देगा. If that yoga is sitting with Ketu, वो खत्म कर सकता है. People like for example, I'm drawing a blank on the names here. There are so many people in history who had the good yoga of Mars, but they misused it to kill people. Hitler was one of them. He had very strong Mars yoga with Rahu. It made him egoistic. It made him kill people meaninglessly. Use your yogas wisely. पहली बात तो है, go figure out आपका योग कौन सा है, and then make sure you use that for betterment of yourself and society.
That's wonderful information, and we are almost about to time. So I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go to the website and I'm gonna punch in what Dr. Saket Bhatia was telling to figure it out कि मेरा कौन सा योग है. मगर अगर आप भी मेरी तरह क्यूरियस हैं तो वेबसाइट है saketbhatia.com. आप ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं which is info@saketbhatia.com, या फिर कॉल कर लीजिए 408-639-5300. अगले सप्ताह भी हम आपको मिलेंगे Tuesday 4 to 5 p.m. The Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia. तब आप स्टूडियो पे कॉल कर सकते हैं. Thank you, Dr. Saket. It was wonderful talking to you, and thank you for enriching our information and wealth of knowledge.
Thank you. I appreciate you for doing this show. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So you were listening to the Astrology Show with Dr. Saket Bhatia. We will see you next week. Thank you.